Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Thank you to my subscribers, welcome to the newcomers. I hope that you like what you see, and if you do, please subscribe to my channel. It helps us grow the channel. Today I'm going to make this beautiful table runner. I know it's going to be beautiful, but I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the flow, and I'm going to be using multicolored blue, almost like a baby blue, and multicolored green and base white. These are all number 4 for 100% cotton Portuguese thread, number 3 needle and scissors. And thank you for the beautiful comments, and thank you for sharing, and don't forget to hit that bell notification for new uploads. Thank you so much everybody. Let's get started. We're going to make a chain of 53 stitches, so very simple. 1, 2, 3 until 53. So we have a chain of 53 stitches. We're going to do 3 more, 1, 2, and 3, and go back 5 space, counting from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to do regular stitches until the end on every single one of them. So I'll meet you at the end. We are going to go up 3 chain. We're going to go into the next one, and we are going to do 4 regular stitches. Once we've done the 4 regular, we're going to do 1, 2 separation. We're going to skip 1, 2. On the third one, we're going to do another one, and we're going to make a regular stitch and another one. Get you a little bit closer. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. 1, 2, skip 2 again on the third one. 1, 2, 1, 2 on the third one. 1, 2 separation. 1, 2 on the third one. 1, 2, 1, 2 on the third one. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 squares. And then we're going to do the 7th stitch. I think I'm going to have 1 stitch extra, but that's not a problem. We're going to cover it up. And I'll show you how. So we're going to do 7 regular stitches here. 2, 4, 6, 7. So we have 7. Now we need 4 stitches at the end. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we need 1, 2, and 3. Okay. 1, 2. Now normally we do 1, 2, and we go on the third one. But because I'll have an extra stitch, no issues. We're going to skip 1, 2, and 3. We're going to go into the 4th one here. And we're going to cover up that extra stitch that we don't need. And it's not noticeable, so no stress there. That's one way to learn to figure out how to fix the boo-boo without taking everything down. So it's just perfect, as you can see. So whatever you do here, we must do here. Okay, so we're going to go up 3. I wanted to mention that it's always going to stay the same, these two, the 4 stitch, the square, and the 7 throughout the whole pattern, and here the same way. So there's no point in me keeping recording. So we're going to turn around, do the 4 stitch, the square, and the 7 on top. So I'll meet you on the other side over here. We're going to do 2 stitch separation, and we're going to cover 4 blocks. So we're going to do until 4 blocks here. Three and 4. And here we're going to do 4 stitch. That means we'll have 4 stitch, 2 inside and 1 here. Now we're going to repeat this on this side. So 4 blocks, the 7 stitch, the 1 square, and the 4 stitches at the end. So we're just repeating it. Nothing to it, very simple. Trying to make it as simple as possible, but nice, of course. So we'll see what we're going to end up with. Okay, people, continue the rest as we did here. Turn around, and I'll meet you on top here. So we've turned around, we've did the 4, the 1 square, and the 7. And do the little blocks again. You know, this is just an imagination, ideas that comes in my head, and try to create something different. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 in here now. See how this is going to turn out to be. Hopefully it will turn out to be perfect. 1, 2. Two in here again. And now we're going to continue with the blocks and the 7 square, the 7 stitches, the 1 block, and the 4 stitch. So whatever we do on one side, we repeat everything on the other. So I'll meet you at the up top. So finish yours, turn around, and come back, and I'll meet you up top there. A little bit closer. So we'll do the squares again. And another square. And another square. And another square. And we'll do 2 inside of here. So I think I'll make little triangles in the middle. I think it will look good. Like that. And then all squares. And repeat the same thing on this side. I'll meet you up top at the end of this row. Now this row is going to be very simple. It's only going to be squares throughout the whole row. So we're going to repeat what we did right from the beginning. So like I said, it's going to be a very simple pattern so far. The center, of course, because then we're having the flowers will be added on. It will turn out beautifully for sure. Okay, so we're doing all squares throughout this one. And then we restart all over again with the little triangle. So nothing really complicated, very, very easy to make and very fast, and you can go as long as you want. There's no specific stitch for this size. Depends all on the size you would like to have. So basically we're doing, again, the same thing as we did here. Now we're going to repeat this row, and then we're going to repeat this row, and then this row, and then we go back to this row again. So continue doing yours, turn around, and you're going to see your guideline. On here we're going to do, on here we're going to do the 4, and then the next row we'll be doing here and there. So we're repeating it. Okay, so I've turned around, I did my 4, I did my square, I did my 7. I'm doing squares until here. We're going to do the 4, and then squares, and then the 7, and then the square, and then the 4. So very, very simple. So now you're going to do your 4 here. And then squares all the way, and repeat the same thing on this side. So not complicated at all, people. And now we're just going to repeat it, turn around. Now the next row we're going to do the 4 in here and 4 in here, exactly like this. So it's all in order. So now we've gone into the middle. So we're going to repeat the same thing as we have here. So 2 inside, 1, 2 separation, and 2 more inside. So very simple to do, people. Nothing out of this world. And we're going to repeat the same thing. The blocks, the 7, the 1 block, and the 4. I'll meet you on the other side. So we've gotten here, and I'm just going to expand a little bit more. So I'm going to do another row. So we'll have 1 big and 1 small to be a little bit different. I think it will look nice. 1, 2, so we'll have 2 separation. And 2 in here. And now we're going to repeat the same thing on this side. So we've reached here, and we're going to cut down like we did with the first one and do 2 in here. So nothing to it, nothing complicated, very simple. 1, 2 separation, and we're going to cut down 2 inside, and then we'll have the other one over here when we're going to do this row. So we're going to repeat the same thing as here onto here. So now we are going to put it in here, and this makes it a little bit bigger than the bottom one, and then we're going to go back and do the bottom one, the small one, and then the bigger one, and then the small one, and then the bigger one. And this is going to be the same way throughout the whole pattern. So nothing complicated. This is not the focal point of this pattern. The flowers will be, so we'll keep it simple here, and then we'll give it a bang in your face afterwards. You know, I love to use that word because it really does give it a bang, and this is where people go, wow, you know. At first it seems like, wow, it's so simple, you know, it's basic stitch. Yes, it is, but you don't want the center piece here to overpower everything. Okay, so this is what it is, and then we're going to go back and do this one. We're going to do just the stitch down here, over here again, to give it a separation. So continue yours, turn around, and just do the regular what we're doing, and all squares, and then this, and then go back up, and I'll meet you on the other one. So I've done my row with the squares, right? And now we're going to do the 4 in the center here. And we're doing the small one. So people, it's the repeat all the way up the same way. You'll be doing the small one, and then the bigger one, and then the small one, and then the bigger one, with squares in between to separate the two sizes so they're not attached together, so they can outstand the look. And I'm going to continue mine. I'll see how many rows I'm going to do, how big it's going to go. It's not going to be too small because the lady has an 8 chair, dining room table chairs, 8 chairs, dining room. So can't be that small for that table either. But she doesn't want it to be hanging. So it's just going to be in the center. Okay, so now we're going to repeat this one. So you'll be having the 2 there, and then the 1 up here like this, and then the squares, and then we're going to repeat this one. So you're on your own. If you get stuck, go back on the video and see how it's done. And I'm just going to finish up this one and show you, and then I'm continuing, and you can continue yours. So we're doing the 4 stitch here, 2 separation, and the 4 stitch here. You could always pause it on the picture look-alike, let's say, like example here. You could pause your video and look at it, or take a picture and look at it. And like this, you're sure never to be mistaken. And we repeat the same thing. I'll meet you up top. So I've closed in already, as you can see. So it's the same thing as the first one. Now we're going to do all squares here, like here, like here. It's a separation between the 2 motifs. And we're going to do squares and then begin with this one. If you don't want to do this one, you can just continue with these ones, or you can just do all of these ones instead of doing one of each. Choice is yours. You can create your own too. You see, there's an idea of creation for you. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of mine. I don't know how many rows I'm going to do. It's going to be big enough um, so you can check in how big I did by advancing the video. I'll see you in a bit. Okay, everybody, so pretty much I am done with the white pattern. And I'm going to stop here because I still have the sides to do with the other colors and the top and the bottom, so it's going to be bigger. So I made 6 small ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you know that after you do the little squares, we always do an empty. So we're basically closing up like the beginning. So now I am going to do stitch over stitch inside of the squares. It's going to be 2 inside and then overlap all of the other ones, so nothing to it. It was a very easy centerpiece pattern, not complicated, and it's beautiful. I'm glad it worked out, but I have taken it down quite a bit before I record, and once I get it the way I like it, then I start recording, redoing and recording. So 2 on each square, closing up with all stitches. So do yours, I'll do mine, and I'll figure out what I'm going to do next for the sides and the edges. So nothing to it. 2 inside of each square and overlap each one. Okay, go to the end. Okay, so we are done. We are going to cut our yarn and lock it in. I like to grab the thinner needle to come into the loops here. And I'm working with 2 threads because we still did not receive the size 4 white in the island, so I'm using 2 number 6 so I can give it more or less the same thickness. It's crazy to work with, but I have no choice and I got to get the job done. So it is what it is. Okay, so we go through a few loops here like that, and it doesn't matter how you're going to put it through the loops because the next row is going to cover up these the leftover thread. Another thing I wanted to explain in some of the videos that I have done, not all of them, I explain pretty much that when we have leftover thread here at the edge, I'll show you in a minute. Let me get rid of this white. It's very easy to get it straight because you don't want it to have it sticking out, and especially when you're doing your next row. So you'd come in with a thinner needle and you'd pull on like that. Now what it does is it locks in right to the edge, and it's a perfect finish. Now bring that thread or yarn or whatever you're working on, and I'm going to give it a knot so it's secure. It's not going to go anywhere, and the next row is going to hide that knot there, but it's almost perfect that you can't barely see it. It's a very simple technique. and you cut your leftover. And don't worry about that because the next row is going to cover it. So there it is. Okay, so now I am going to grab my blue and work with my blue. I'm going to put it to the test a bit and record. So we're going to grab the corner of the edge, as you can see, and we are going to lock in. We're going to go 1, 2, and 3 up. We're going to go back into this corner and we're going to do 3. 1, 2, back in again. Hide your yarn at the same time. This is a gorgeous blue. I love this blue. 1, 2 separation, and you're going to skip 1 row. You're going to the next one. So, and you're going to do 3. 1, 2, skip 1 row. Now I've done already a pattern that has the same stitch as this. I was going to do something different, but I recall the client saying that she wanted that type of flowers that I had done on the other pattern. So I think this is going to look perfect with it. So almost the edge going around, it's almost the same, but not exactly, because I'm going to give it a twist on it. So we're going to do this all the way around. So you skip 1, 3 stitches, 2 separation. Your corners will have the 2 groups of 3. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end all the way around. So nothing to it. Gorgeous color. I'll meet you at the end over here. So make sure that your corner on the other edge, on the 4 edges, 2 groups of 3 with 2 separation. Okay, so that's the corners. Okay, so I've done the side. We're just getting to the edge. You see it falls perfect when you have the right amount of stitches in. So we skip 1 and we go right into the corner and we do our 3 and then 1, 2, and then your other 3. And I told you we'd meet at the end, but obviously you need to know where to go here. Okay, so 1. So we're going to give it a 2 stitch here, and we're going to skip 1, 2, and we go here on the 3rd one. And do 3 on the same place. See if this is going to work out. 1 and 2. So basically you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? But if we count from here, we're going to, because I didn't count this one, we have 1, 2 on the 3rd place. So now we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because I don't want it to be too much together, so it's got to give it some space. 2 separation. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think it's perfect. Okay, so if you count again, 1, 2, 3 on your fourth one, and then 1, 2, 3 on your fourth one. So we put 3 together and 2 separation. We're going to do that until the end. So we've come to the end, and I realize at the end that there is no 4 to skip, right? But that's not the problem. We don't worry about that at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to give it like a 1 instead of 2, so it won't be too bulky, and just go right in. So no stress, no biggie. You can't even tell once everything is brought together. So 2 separation again, and back on the same one. So it gives us 12 groups of 3. And now we're going to repeat this side exactly as we did on this side. So we're going to do 1, 2, skip 1, go into the next one, and do the 3. 1, 2, skip, and into the next one. So we skip a row and we go into the next one. 1, 2, skip a row and into the next one. We're going to do this all the way to the end, same way as we just created the other side. So you're going to end up with, I'll just count here to make sure. 1, okay, not counting the corner, I'm counting from here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 27 of these ones. So you're going to have 27 on this side also. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I have 27 on this side also. I'm at the corner. Now 1, 2. Now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. So on your fourth one, same thing as we did on the other side. Nothing changes. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. You're supposed to have 12 of these. Like that. So you count 1, 2, 3, and 4. You stick it on the 4, the 3. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and you put 3. So I'll meet you at the end. So we reach the end, and now we're going to go into the middle. One, 2, and 3. 1, 2. So we're doing the same thing here in the corner. Okay, so we finished the group. We come over to the next one. We do 2. Get you closer. 1, 2, and 2 more. And we're going to do this throughout the whole row all the way around. So 2 groups of 2 and 2 separation. 1, 2. Nothing to it. Very simple and very fast. So do yours, I'll do mine. We're going to do that all the way around until the end. So get to the corners, you need to do the same thing. 2 groups of 3 with 2 separation. Okay, you guys, so I had finished doing the second round here, and I had a leftover thread, yarn, I don't even know what you call it, but anyway, it's all, you know, full of these little funny things. And I've decided to use it since I have this and it's basically hitting on the same colors that I want. I'm doing this row exactly the same thing as the first row. So there's 3, 2 separation and 3, exactly the same. And then I'm putting only 1 separation, not 2, because this is more coarse. It's more thicker a bit. And I'm doing the 3 inside, 1 separation, 3 inside, 1 separation, 3 inside, 1 separation. It's kind of hard to see because of all these ruffle, see? Anyway, so 1 separation. So it's going to be the same thing as we did the first one. So this is 2 and 3. It's kind of hard to see, obviously, and 1 separation because it's thicker, so I don't want it to be too loose. And we're going to do this all the way around. So nothing changes. It's exactly the same thing as we did this one here. So 3 inside, 1 separation, 3 inside, 1 separation, and the 2 groups of 3 in the corner. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so I pretty much finished with this blue. As you can see, it came out beautiful. I'm glad I saw it there and I'm glad I used it. So now I'm gonna go with the green to give it some greenery. So then I can come in with the multi-blue. See how this is gonna pin out either that way or back into the other blue. I'll see how I like it better. So we're going to go into the corner as usual. It's going to be kind of hard for me to see on this one because of all these ruffles, but we'll manage. And we're going to do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. And in the same place, we're going to do the 2 groups of 3s. 1, 2 separation. And 3 more. Okay. Let me figure this out a minute. Okay. So we're going to give it 1 separation. And right in that space, like the same one we have here, because we just finished doing this one, we are going to, hold on a minute, we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see how this works out. We're going to grab it by there. We're going to make the popcorn. No, let's try it again. I think my stitch was, oh, it's going to be hard to do it on here. Okay, let's try that. So we have 2 in there. 3, 4, 5, it to be too much, so I'm going to try it with 5. See how this works out. Because I want to fit 2 popcorns in there. And make it like a little bush, you know. Okay, tighten this up and lock it in one separation and back in the same place. And do 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Come and grab it here and bring it in one separation again. So we're going to do this throughout the whole pattern this way. Three, 4, and 5. And grab it here, one separation, and back into the same place, into the square. Three, 4, and 5. See how this pans out. If I like it, I'll keep it, and if I don't, well, you know what happens. And one separation back into the other square. Now you don't have to use this type of thread. You could have just went with the regular, either white or with the blue, to do the same thing what we're doing here. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And one separation, and in the same place. So it's 2 groups of popcorns of 5 stitch, regular stitch, and 5. And one separation. Okay, let me see what it looks like now. I think it looks pretty good. So we're going to do that all the way around. And then we're going to do, the next row, we're going to do rosebuds with probably this color. And now I have the tutorial out on this flower already, which is the blue multicolor on my playlist. You can go there and check it out. And I'm most probably going to add this at the end on one end of the corner, and on the other end of the corner with some green leaves coming through the sides here. So you could check it out and have it made if you're going to decide to put it on there yourself, like I am. Most probably I am. And we're going to continue on with the bush, let's say, the bush leaves for some rosebuds, but with the multicolor I'm going to do them. So I can just bang on your face sort of thing that I spoke earlier. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way around. Your corners will be the same, 3 and 3. And I'll meet you at the end. Okay, everybody, so we pretty much finished doing the bush, the sort of leaves, bush, whatever you want to call it. And we are going to start with the multicolored blue. So whatever color you're using. And we're going to start here in the middle of the first 2 leaves, bushes, if you want to call it. And we're going to lock down, small stitch, bring your yarn already to hide it. And we're going to do another small stitch. So it's 2 small stitches and 7 chain stitch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we are going to do 1, 2, 3. On your third one, we're going to do 5 chain stitch in there, so we can have the flower starting to curve up. So we have 5. Go into your next loop and 5 more. We're going to do this throughout the loops of the chain all the way to the last loop. 5. So nothing to it. Takes a little bit of time because we have to do a lot of these little loops, but that's the beauty of the pattern, right? If it was just too easy, you wouldn't have such beauty. You got to put a little bit of effort into it to have a beautiful outcome. Okay, so we're going to do it all the way to the first one here. Now, we did every single one of them, so I just turned them a bit. Now we want them to stay steady there, so I'm gonna go through the center here on the bottom and go through the same loop and lock it in, just so it can stay steady in one place, and give it one more small stitch inside of the same place, so it's gonna stay like that. 1, 2. Let's see if 2 is enough, so we're gonna go into the next. If 2 is not enough, I'll give 3 because I don't want it to be too tightened up. So let me try 3 for the people that have a very large stitch. Whoops. Then just give it 2. So we're going to go in 1 more. So 2 small stitches and then 7 again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Very simple. And go on 1, 2, on your third one, do your 5 stitches in there. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go on your next one, and we're going to do this throughout the whole row. I'll meet you at the end of the row to see what are we going to do with the corner. 4 and 5. And then you'd go into the next loop. It's not good to have it too loose, but it's not good to have it too tight either, because then it's a hard thing to get them in through the loops. But if they're too loose, they're not, the flower will be, I mean, very too loose. It won't look pretty. Okay, so nothing to it. 3, 4, and 5. And go into the next one, all the way to the last one in the bottom. 3, 4, and 5. And then we have one more here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, obviously, if you're using thicker thread or yarn, then you don't need to put 5. You only need to put like 3 or 4, because it's thicker. It will thicken it up a lot. Okay, so we did the second one already. Just fix it a bit so we can have it go through the middle here in the back and the bottom. And we're going to lock it on the same place so it can stay in place. Whoops, grabbed something together. Try that again. Sometimes it could be a little tricky, but no issues. Okay. I'm not even getting into the right place, Jesus. Okay. So it looks all cramped up when you're doing it, but no issues. And another small stitch. And then you do 1, 2, and 3, and then small stitch again. And another one. And go up 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is what it's going to look like. Real pretty. And I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, you guys, so I pretty much did this side already. I've come to the corner, and what I did was exactly what we've been doing. I did 3 stitch, I went into the corner, I did my flower, and I did my 2 separation, and did another flower in the corner also, both in the same place. And again, your 1 stitch inside, 3 stitch separation, and into the other. So nothing changes. Basically, you just created the flower in 2 flowers in the same place in the corner with the 2 stitch separation. Same concept as we did here. So nothing changes at all. And then we continue on with the rest of the flowers the same way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And get to the corners. We're going to put 2 inside of the corners, so it can give it that effect of the square going around from the sides to the top, or to the edges if you want to call them. So basically it's repeating itself. We're going to do the same way all the way around. Very simple, nothing complicated. It takes a little bit of time because you have to do each space here, you know, to create your flower. But, you know, if we didn't do that, it wouldn't look as pretty. So I like to create different, as I've mentioned already a couple of times in a few videos. I don't like to create the same thing that everybody else is creating. I like to have my own thing and my own ideas and break my head with it. And I like different. I don't like things that look too simple either, if you want to put it. I mean, these are simple, but not that simple. Like there's a little bit of work to it. That's what I mean. It's not just like stitch it on and let's go, it's done, you know. You got to put a little bit of effort in it so it can look different and nice. Like this flower's not well rolled. But anyway, this is what it is. And I put the 2 of them here, as you can see, so we can have, you know, the corners meeting together, because if there was one, it would have been pulling in. So at least we have a straight row here, and then we'll have a straight row there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other corners. So I'll meet you at the end of all the flowering around. Okay, you guys, since we've gotten to the corner, I wanted to make sure that you knew what I was talking about, not to be confused. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're doing the regular flower like we were doing on the sides. The only difference is we're going to put 2 in here. My neighbors have the music loud. I don't know if you can hear it. So just wanted to mention that it's been crazy for the past few weeks. Construction in the back of the house and another land right behind the house. They're building a house, or not a house, but offices. So it's been a lot of noise constantly. It's been hard to record. And then comes the weekend. Well, you know, neighbors, they want to listen to a bit of music and be with their families, so everybody's got to hear the same music around, which I don't mind, but sometimes, you know, when they go on for hours and hours and hours, it's a bit hectic. So I jumped one. I have to go back. You can't jump any of them, or else your flower will not be the same size. It will become smaller, and sometimes a little bit tighter as you go because of all the stitches, but we manage. We're at 4 and 5. I still have that bruise and that nail. Eventually I will have to cut it off and do a nail there, because it's going to be cut quite short, because the bruise was right on top of the nail. So the thing is that the nail is growing out, so it looks like it's dirty from the inside, but it's not. It's just a grown bruise in it, just to let you know, because there's always, you know, a thought of, oh my God, her nail's dirty, she doesn't see that or something. No, my nail's not dirty. It's just bruised, people. Okay, so 1 and 2, and then what am I doing? 1, 2. Yes, 1, 2, sorry. I was getting confused there. And then go in and do your small stitch, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then repeat. And then do your flower, and then we're just going to jump. We're going to do 2 separation and go into the next one on the other side. I almost jumped that one too. And then the next one. Anyway, you do your, and I've been off camera all this time. I hope I haven't been off camera all this time. My goodness. I have such a hard time not concentrating sometimes if I'm on camera or not. Still getting used to this camera thing. Anyway, so as you see, I'm doing the 2 flowers in here, and then we're going to do 2 separation going to the next one. Okay, everybody, so we pretty much finished with the flowers. Cut the yarn, the thread, and now I'm just finishing up with the rest of these little leaves. around the flowers. So this is the last row. There's nothing to it. You grab it from anywhere. I've grabbed it from the, not the corner. Here's the corner, right the first one. So you'd be locking in once. Get this focused a bit. And do 6 stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go back down into the middle. Lock it in. Now 6 stitch chain. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean 9 stitch chain. Go back down. Lock it in. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And back down the same place and lock it in. So it's going to be like little leaves that's around the flowers, like the little grass, if you want to put it that way. It'll be nice once it's all fixed. Now, there's no separation. You go directly into the next space. Don't tighten it too much. If your stitch is too tight, then give 1 separation. And that's going to be just fine. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitch. Back into the same place, which is between the flowers. And 9 stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back in. Lock it up, and 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is what we're going to do all the way around, and even in between the 2 flowers on the corners. So you would just jump. Make sure you grab both cords here together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Both cords again. So we're doing right in the middle. And when you get to the corner where the 2 flowers is, then you have the 2 little separation that we had there. Do them in there. And if you're not comfortable, you can just do it right out here, the whole thing. But I'm going to do mine right in here. So. And this is about it, and this is what it's going to look like once it's done. It's going to look really, really pretty. Fixing the flowers, of course, afterwards. So everybody, this is about it for this video. I thank you so much. I'm going to have the reveal shots at the end once I'm finished in a little video. So thank you so much for joining me again, creating this beautiful piece. And I'm going to name this, this table runner in the name of my sweet, beautiful cousin that is far away from me. And I had mentioned in the last few videos that the next few patterns I would be naming after members of my family that are far away from me, and I miss them very much, and they're very dear to me. So this goes to you, Nemesia. She's in Toronto, Canada. So I named it to you, my dear, in your honor. And I miss you very much, love you very much. I hope that you like the pattern that I created with your name. Much love and much hugs to you. And hopefully we'll meet each other again very soon. So thank you so much, everybody, and please don't forget to subscribe to newcomers and hit that bell notification for new uploads, and I'll see you until the next time. Thank you so much, everyone, and Nemesia, big hugs and kisses for you, my dear. Take care. Bye-bye, everybody. Before I close off and before I forget, people, I already have the this flower, the multicolored blue flower, on my playlist. If you're interested to do it, you can just go there, click on it, and follow it. I am going to add this to this table runner, one on each, not the four corners, only two corners, the opposite side. So I'm not going to show it on here because there is already a tutorial on there. I'm just going to tell you how I'm going to apply it. So this would be on this corner, and you'll see it on the pictures once I reveal the pictures. I am going to add the paddle, and what I do is I use hot gun glue, and then I stitch it in so nothing comes apart. So I'm gonna have this more or less, I'm giving you an idea of how I'm gonna be placing it. So this is more or less what I am going to do with it. I'll see it once I get it all together, but just putting it so now, so you can see more or less what I am doing with it. But this will be added onto here on the each opposite side. So just to let you know before I close off, because I'll probably forget, and then you're gonna say, but this is on the picture and I didn't see her put it. Well, I'm showing you now more or less how I'm gonna place it. I guess I'll place it better once I've decided what kind of design I'm gonna be putting in here. So anyways, just to give you an idea, I'm not sure yet how I'm going to be placing it. I'm going to play around with it and take it from there to place it. But this is what I'm going to put on this corner. And on the opposite side, on the other end of the corner, you'll see it on the picture and at the video at the end. So thank you again, everybody.